Hey, how's it going, guys? So, in this short stream, I'm going to be going over a Thursday night football showdown lineup, and then I'm going to be building a week 1 50-50 lineup that I can show you guys how I'm planning on doing a 50-50 lineup each week for the NFL season, seeing how much money we can make. Um, just by doing double ups in DraftKings this season. I also do a 5 pick parlay on Underdog Fantasy and a 5 pick parlay on PrizePicks. Um, I do those picks for $5 on Underdog and then $8 on PrizePicks to try and win $180 respectively. All right, so let's get into it. All right, so um, I'm gonna do a quick showdown lineup for DraftKings for tomorrow night. Um, I'm not gonna do anything big or anything like that. Just gonna do a quick $1 entry. Um, just to have a little fun with it tomorrow night. Um, you know, just something to look forward to while watching a game. So again, as I mentioned earlier in the stream, we know now that Van Jefferson is going to be out for the game. um, so to pick for the captain spot, you really want a high scoring player for that spot. Um, so again, going with what I've been talking about earlier this season with Cooper Kupp, how there's going to be major regression coming his way, I think. In addition, with the Van Jefferson injury, I'm playing Allen Robinson at the top in the captain spot. I feel like he's going to outproduce Cooper Kupp, not only fantasy wise for this game, but I would even go as far as this season. I just feel like he's the more talented receiver. I feel like now that now that Cooper Kupp's kind of got film on him, showing what his strengths are, showing what his weaknesses are, um, I'm just I just feel like there's no way he'll be able to replicate. Obviously, it's very unlikely he's going to replicate what he did last season, let alone replicate even half. Wouldn't say half, probably 3/4 of what he did last season with the talent that they now have. And I'm not sold that they won't sign OBJ um, by the end of this season either. So, but that's neither here nor there as far as season long or going into the season goes. Um, I'm playing Allen Robinson for that first spot here. Pair him up with Matt Stafford. I am going to go with Josh Allen here as well. Being that it's going to be a high scoring game, I feel like there's going to be spots early on in the game where it's going to be very field positioned based as far as the offense goes, where they're going to be wanting to get where they're going to want to get points early on. So I'm going to go with both kickers. Usually, I try to stay away from that, but in order to maximize the points that are being scored, I'm going with both kickers here to be able to afford both quarterbacks. And with the last pick, with 10,000 left, I can either go Gabe Davis or I can go Stephon Diggs if I wanted to. I'm I would actually say I'm more inclined just to go ahead and go with the top guy, Stephon Diggs. You know what? I think I have him in another lineup because I think I've done 2 other ones for tomorrow night. So to be different, I'm gonna go ahead and go Gabe Davis. And the thing about Showdown is, leaving roster or leaving salary left on the board can create a little bit of a different lineup as well. So I think that can bode well for for this team, or for this lineup rather. So we're going with Allen Robinson for the Rams in the captain spot. We're going with Matthew Stafford and Josh Allen, Tyler Bass, Matt Gay, and Gabe Davis in this lineup. All right, go ahead, enter. Boom, we're in. So my 50-50 lineup for this week: Kyler Murray, Christian McCaffrey, Najee Harris, Justin Jefferson, Marquise Brown, Romeo Doubs, Dallas Goedert, Sky Moore, and the Dolphins defense. I'm hoping that that secondary for the Dolphins can get a few picks, maybe even a pick 6 against Mac Jones early on in the season. So again, this is kind of a showing you a 50-50 lineup, see how long we can double our entries for the season. So if we hit here on week 1, then what I'll end up doing is I'll do a $5 entry again, just like this one, and then I'll use the other $5 that we made and do like 5 $1 entries just to make sure that we're kind of hedging ourselves. So again, we'll see how this goes. Just kind of like an experiment to see how it goes. So all right, go ahead and submit that. On to Underdog Fantasy. So with Underdog Fantasy, if you haven't played the Pick'em on here, basically you pick the over-under for several different stats that they make available to you. They got just about every quarterback, every game, at least 1 or 2 players, if not 3 or more, included, and you just pick the over-under for the stats they give you. Definitely look through, find the best value for these picks. So we're just going to kind of look through here, see if we can find some good values for this slate, for this Sunday slate. And just for sake of being fun, we're going to go ahead and do all 5 picks and hope we can win $100. So let's see here. I'm going to go higher on Gabe Davis to get more than 60 yards receiving. For one, outside of Stephon Diggs, I mean, I would imagine this game's going to shoot. It's going to be crazy high. I would imagine that both teams are easily going to score 30. So, obviously, if you think both teams are going to score 30, they're going to have a lot of passing yards. So, I'm looking at Gabe Davis because I basically look at him and Stephon Diggs as one and the same. I feel like they're all of equal pedigree as far as that pass catching group goes for Buffalo. Some of y'all may disagree, being that Stephon Diggs is the beast that he is, and Gabe Davis is being kind of a player that kind of was coming into his ability at the end of the season last year. But Gabe Davis over 60 yards, or at least 60 yards receiving. So that's one for tomorrow night to look out for. I'll also like Allen Robinson above 65 yards receiving for tomorrow night. I'm actually going to go ahead and click that as well. Also surprising, they only have Juju Smith at 47.5 yards receiving. I feel like that is super low considering the type of game that this can easily be. I mean, they're projecting 320 yards, 21 total yards, 300 yards passing. just looking at how they have this divvied up between the receivers, there's you can hit over for all these receivers just about and probably be okay, being how crazy that game's going to be. But so I'm going with Juju Smith-Schuster for the underdog pick here for KC. Again, they don't have Rondale Moore. So I'm going to hold off on Marquise because I do have some questions about how he's going to be doing as far as production. I would feel more inclined to go with the 12.25 fantasy points on this rather than the receiving yards. Just for my leaning towards him scoring a touchdown at some point in that game, being that it's going to be a really high scoring game. So, although I would feel comfortable making that pick, I'm gonna hold off just because we already got one for that game. I think he'll easily have at least 117.5 against the New York Giants, who I think is probably going to be the worst defense in the NFL this year. So yeah, I feel like that's going to be an easy hit for Derrick Henry there, barring injury, of course. Looking at all the different stats here, they got 61.5 yards rather for rushing receiving for Dameon Pierce against Indianapolis. I don't think they give Davis Mills the credit that he deserves for being a pretty good, solid quarterback in the NFL. The guy wasn't even supposed to win the job when they put him in, and the guy was able to perform coming out of Stanford. So I like Davis Mills. All the hype's been around Dameon Pierce this season. So I'm going to go ahead and hit the over for the rushing and receiving yards. I mean, he can get 2 catches right there for 5-6 yard pickup, screen passes, whatever, and still hit that number. So I like that. I like the rushing and receiving yards being coupled together like that because obviously it just gives them more opportunity. Another reason why I picked Derrick Henry here as well. So we're just going to do a $5 one here. Again, it's going to be up to win 100. We'll play safe. We'll play safe for week 1. We'll go for the insurance. That way we only have to hit 4 out of 5. This is something new the Underdog is doing. They used to not do this before. So you always had to at least go. You had to at least hit all 5. But you know what? Actually, since we're doing PrizePicks, we're going to go for it all on Underdog. We'll go ahead and go for the straight 5 for 5. See if we can hit the over on all 5 of them this week. Hit submit. Boom. We're in. Gabe Davis at least 60 yards receiving. Allen Robinson at least 66 yards receiving. Juju Smith-Schuster at least 48 yards receiving. Derrick Henry over 118 yards total production. Dameon Pierce at least 62 yards of production for this week to win $100. So let's see how that goes. I feel like those are solid picks for Underdog Fantasy. PrizePicks. So biggest difference on PrizePicks, they like to do a lot of these like promo, like free square type picks. Tom Brady to be able to complete a pass essentially against the Cowboys. We'll go ahead and include him into that. What's this here? I don't know what that is. Anyway, we'll go over for that. Let's see here. Rushing, receiving yards. Again, I said early, just a minute ago, I like the combination between the two over and unders. For the over unders, for the combined rushing and receiving yards. But PrizePicks has that a little bit more on lock as far as the stats go. Najee Harris, I feel okay. I just don't feel like I feel like it's going to be a lot more passing as far as mixing goes. Najee Harris, um, I mean, I can see that being that Deontay Johnson is going to be out, and they got a rookie quarterback. And as I said before, not a rookie quarterback. I take that back. Mitch Trubisky. I'm sorry, Mitch Trubisky. Help him out as much as they can. I like Najee Harris in that spot at 86.5 between rushing and receiving. And with Deontay Johnson out, they may even call on him to run a few more screen passes for this week as well. Let's see here for receiving and rushing touchdowns. Austin Eckler to score a rushing touchdown, or let's see if they have him on here. No, not for the combination. So just for rushing touchdowns. I mean, I still like that. I mean, score one touchdown for the game. I'll take that. Let's see. Sacks. I'm not gonna go with sacks. Not for tomorrow night at least. Nope. I'm not gonna go kickers. Although I think they're both possible to at least score two early on. Let's see. Christian McCaffrey to score against Cleveland. I'll sign me up on that one. And I like James Conner because if memory serves me right, Kansas City's defense was terrible against the run, if I remember right, which I believe I am. All right, so going back, we've got Tom Brady to complete a pass, basically, on Sunday night. Najee Harris to get 86.5 rushing and receiving yards. Austin Eckler to fall into the end zone for a running touchdown. Christian McCaffrey to just plain fall in the end zone at some point during that game. And James Conner to score at least one touchdown in that high-scoring game against Kansas City, which, again, they had a terrible time playing running backs last season and the season before, if I remember correctly. So we're going to go ahead and do $8 here on this one for a chance to win 80. See how that goes. And again, the biggest difference that I've mentioned in one of my first videos is that you don't necessarily have to go 5 for 5 on this site. Let me go ahead and move this so you can actually see what I'm talking about. You don't have to go 5 for 5 here. You can actually go 4 for 5 and still double your money. And then even if you get 3 out of 5, you can get some of your money back. So that's something good. That's one of the things I love about PrizePicks is that you can easily gives you a little bit more wiggle room to not lose everything. So we got $8 on that one. Hit place entry. So we've got Tom Brady, Najee Harris, Austin Eckler, Christian McCaffrey, and James Conner. Extra fun to have going into Sunday. All right, so I just went over my Thursday night football showdown for the Bills and Rams game, and then I also just went over the 50-50 lineup for Week 1 of the NFL season. If we keep doubling our money throughout the season, we should make a pretty good profit by the end of the regular season this year. We also made 2 parlay cards for Underdog Fantasy and PrizePicks for Week 1. I'm going to drop a link for each site for Underdog and PrizePicks. That way, if you use the link in the description that I put down there for YouTube, they'll match up to $100 in your first deposit if you haven't already signed up to the website. So please use that link and take advantage of that good deal for Underdog Fantasy and PrizePicks. If you haven't already, please subscribe to the YouTube channel and follow me on Twitch at WillReese14. And thank you guys for watching, and follow my channels for more fantasy football content this season.